Okay, so here's another vlogging video. Today's Monday. This vlogging video may not be up probably till Tuesday. So by the time you guys see this video, it will be Tuesday. It's around maybe 10:30 in the morning. I got my GoPro clipped onto my backpack. So the angle's going to be a bit higher, but hopefully you guys can see better. I'm not going to be able to see the screen since it's a bit up higher right now. We are going out for usual walks. Kind of got some things I do want to talk about. Some stuff I want to share and things out of that nature, if you will. Not so, I think most of us that see this video, if not a good majority of us, have been in situations where we were told one thing and it ends up being another in life, and we get prepped and prepared. So there was supposed to be a family trip, right? There was supposed to be a family trip that was supposed to take place. It was pitched for an entire month to 2 weeks of being pitched and then finally confirmed as a family trip. Main person that pitched it first was my father, right? And it's like, there's going to be a family, we're going to take this family trip either to Nashville or Kentucky, right? Alright, cool. Well, he's against me in a lot of ways because, again, we don't have the best relationship. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys may have seen the video Trust and Money in-depth interview by now. My father was never around, and something that a lot of people get misunderstood is that you can be married to somebody and you can still be an absentee father in your child's life. That's real. You can still be married and still be an absentee father in your child's life. And that's how it was with me. He was always against me. And because he was always against me, we don't have the best relationship. You got 3 people living in a house, right? A sick child, a mother, and father. So when you plan out a family trip, that means a family trip. It takes a family to have a trip, not 2. But during the majority conversation, when it comes to doing things like that, he doesn't like me going. He thinks that I don't deserve those things. A lot of the sacrifices and shit that was done to me, I deserve those things. I've only been out of state maybe 3 times, maybe 4 at the most in my life. And that was money that wasn't there. You know, I don't get to go much. I don't get to go places as much. I don't really get to do much of anything. You know, one is going, of course, going to be money. You know, yes, I may have gotten my freedom underneath my overseers, but there's still no money there at the end of the day. And 100%, when you get out from greedy people like that, when it comes to legal issues in court, yeah, you're gonna walk out with nothing. You know, I talk about why people with special needs and people in my predicament can't get hired, why we don't meet today's standards. I also go into why I don't have vehicle transportation. So another reason why I don't get to go very many places is because of transportation. I can't get a license, you know? And then he thinks something's gonna fucking happen to the animals. Like, nothing's going to happen. You know, I go into deep detail about that in the Trust and Money in-depth interview. He has my mother so fucking brainwashed that she believes her own bullshit. Real talk. She believes her own bullshit now. And here she is pitching things to me, saying, yes, we're going to be going on a family trip. We're going to be leaving. Okay, like, you know, confirm that, you know, I'm going. So here I am spending money, $40 at the most, that I don't fucking have, right? On 2 cameras, pack of batteries, an SD card, and a new pair of shoes. And it was going to be for the weekend, right? Just for the weekend. So I'm not going to pack something big, you know, it's just for like a couple of days, you know? So on top of that, I'm out here in the streets trying to find whatever little work I can get to put away money, and I'm almost at $200, right, in savings for the trip, just so I can have something to take with me to have a bit of play around money, you know? Nothing too big, but just something to, you know, play around with, you know? And then a couple days ago, it's like, well, me and your father's going to be leaving for this trip. You're not going, even though it's confirmed as a family trip. But since you're not going, can we have your money? Like, you're not going to need it. No, you're not fucking getting my money. No, you're not fucking getting it. Well, I'll pay you $100 when I get back. You pay me money that you don't fucking have, because your husband takes it from you, and you have the fucking nerve to ask me for my money? No, fuck you. No. And then you're sitting in this fucking, then you're sitting there, standing there, whatever, now rubbing the shit in my face, putting me down. Oh, well, you can't go. Well, don't fucking say it's a family trip, bitch, if I'm not fucking going, and don't have the nerve to ask me for my money that I'm trying to save up, because now I spent money that I didn't fucking have on shit now that I was really going to use. So, how many of you guys really have that happen to you, where something is pitched to you like that, and yeah, it's unfair? Like, it's completely 100% unfair. I'm pretty sure a good majority of us have had that happen. I'm pretty sure of it. You know, you're saying all these things and then you get hit with bullshit. You know, I don't get to, again, go very many places. I don't get to do a lot because of certain things. And this trip, I was looking forward to it. A good majority of this trip, what it was supposed to be, were people that served in the military. All right, my father's a veteran, yeah. But it was going to be for like a one-day thing. The hotel was already paid for by the place. So you get an overview of Kentucky. A lot of those people are going to be there for the weekend. They're not all going to want to talk to everyone. A lot of people just want to go out, look around in the city, you know, tourist stuff. A lot of them are going to bring their families. A lot of them are going to bring their families. So it was already confirmed for a lot of people as a family trip. But then here I am that get, you know, I pretty much get screwed out of it. And the thought of them, when it comes to me, makes them sick. Like, okay, I don't want you to have a future. We don't want you to be successful in life. We don't like the thought of you having money. That's why they did what they did to me, what I explained in the trust and money in-depth interview. We don't want you to go anywhere. You know, the thought of them when it comes to me just wanting to be happy, the idea, you know, makes them sick. But I ended up winning the house since I was paying for it. Right? They'll be out in January. My father will be going to prison by then, since he hasn't been working full hours like he should be. And to fill in that spot right there, those that have seen the Trust and Money in-depth interview, and I'll link it down below, but those that have seen it, right, when it came to the very last bit of court stuff, with the final reviews, since I was paying for everything, like they were stealing money from me. They ended up putting me in $250,000 in debt because a lot of stuff was under my name. And I ended up getting investigated and looked into because certain things were bought underneath my name with my money. So their deal is like, well, okay, since the overseers were the ones doing all this and they chose not to work, they got sentenced to work. Now mom, she's been working full hours, so she's good, trying to pay me back money that she did, because her involvement with her part. My father, he ain't trying to work full hours. He's supposed to have full hours work by the end of the year. Once they look at his hours, like, why are you having all these days off? You're not working full hours like you should. And because of that, he'll end up going to prison. So he'll be produced back to his 35-year life sentence. And he ain't got 35 years. Anything, he's killing himself. Real talk. So, you know, being planned as a family trip and then getting fucking screwed out of it is bullshit. But if I have to stay, you best fucking pay me $100 for fucking babysitting the house, watching the dogs who don't even need to be watched. If you say you're gonna fucking pay me that, pay me that. Don't fucking bullshit me, because if you're gonna bullshit me, I'm just gonna black the fuck out on you. And then fully let you fucking have it. And I already explained why it wasn't fair to me, but they ain't trying to hear it. But they have the nerve to ask me, well, can we have your $200 so we can have some money to ourselves? No, you can't fucking have my money. Fuck you. If you have a problem with it, take me to fucking court. Oh, wait, you guys already tried that several times because you guys want money out of me, and that's been thrown out quick. Hell, you guys are blocked by the financial loan places. You guys have to be watched when it comes to the banks. You guys have been labeled by the state as unfit parents and unfit financial owners. I'm dead serious, especially when it comes to the grandparent laws. Like, the state I live in is Tennessee. There's grandparent laws. And if you leave your children with their grandparents, you're going to have somebody else there with them to watch the grandparents. Because supposedly, grandparents cannot be trusted in the state because they've been known to leave kids in houses by themselves if something happens. Been known to leave them in hot cars, dying, being neglectful. Even when it comes to if you start developing Alzheimer's, short-term memory loss, things like that, with the grandparent laws. I don't know, maybe some other states may have them, I don't know. But, they can't be around, children that are going to have money with their life or with their name, because they're going to use those children as financial schemes to benefit them. You're almost in your 60s now. You had a good majority of your life before that age to have a good financial life, but you fucked it up by spending it on drugs. Yeah. On drugs. And I know they're like the most miserable people now ever since I got out from underneath them from what they did to me. And now they like to bitch and complain the most. They're like, you don't do anything around here, you don't work, when are you going to get a job? They're saying that because now they're no longer receiving any more of my money. They're no longer out there being irresponsible. Now they have to be responsible people and actually have to go out there and work and pay bills, rather than leaving shit up to me. See, they hate that shit now. Oh yeah, I saved the house on multiple occasions. I can't tell you how many times. Well, actually, yeah, I could. I think. See, the first time I was coming home from my 5th grade year. So I was a walker, right? So anybody that has kids, if you live close to school, your child is going to be registered as a walker, which means your child's going to be walking home and from school every day. So I came home one day. They were having a garage sale. It was all my stuff that was sold. Time I seen my room, it was emptied out. So my stuff ended up saving that house the first time. Then I ended up actually working at a job for special needs people, because that's what I am. I do have special needs things, and I was making good money. Now I stopped working there because just because the money was good doesn't mean the experience was good with the environment, because the employees did abuse those with special needs behind closed doors, and that's why I left. But with that money, I ended up paying for the house out of that, even though I was also being charged rent. And if those that don't know, if you have a child that is special needs, of any kind and they're living with you and they are having some sort of money coming in, regardless if it's from a special needs program or disability, you are not allowed to charge them money staying with you, because that is considered illegal. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. That is considered fraud and a financial scam. And it's also against the law when it comes to the, handicap laws that's out there. The only way somebody can be charged like that if they choose to live on their own with somebody that's licensed to do that. But they also have to know the rules as well. So there's that whole thing with there. And then the third time I ended up saving the house was from not even another garage sale. That comes a bit after. Was with my SSI money. And at the time I didn't know how much I was getting paid, and they were having me constantly lie to the people at the Human Services office just to gain more money. I was getting paid around $15,000 a month. And yeah, I ended up developing a lot of health issues because of that, because a lot of doctor's appointments, a lot of medication was never picked up, a lot of doctor appointments were just being fucking canceled, and a lot of the stuff ended up coming back to bite them when it came to me, because I was found on the floor. I don't remember too much what happened, but a lot of those health issues ended up coming back, and next thing I remember, I woke up in the emergency room, plugged up the machines, and my mother was being questioned by the authorities at the hospital called when they found records of canceled appointments, medication at the pharmacies that weren't being picked up. And that's the thing about, overseers. Like, if they're supposed to be trusted with people with disability issues and special needs, right? Well, those overseers see a financial way to get them out of financial crisis. They see them as a check, a golden green diamond Easter egg, if you will, to benefit them. And then they start using those people with those special needs like that because of their benefits. And next thing you know, the person with special needs finds themselves in a very bad place, not just financially, but also when it comes to health. And then you hear about a lot of people, then you hear about deaths because of that. And the good majority of deaths are from people with special needs being took advantage of by their overseers. And then a good majority of those that want to get out from that is through violence. So a good majority of people locked up in the penitentiary system, from prison and jail, are those with special needs, man. And it takes a long time for that proof to get gathered, but I had to gather proof on my end, and it took me 3 years to do that, even though I was being used since I was young, because when I was born, I had some complications wrong with me, right? I had some stuff wrong with me. I was hospitalized. I was plugged up to machines, and I actually have an autopsy report on my body because I did die twice on the table. And there was money from the state that was given to me so I could get the medical I needed as a child for the 6 months of my life as an infant. It was $25,000. I have the certificate and a bit of the dollar coins as proof. I didn't know about that, and I found that like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. And what they did with that, and what my parents did with that money, they got a credit card, bought bullshit, put themselves in debt really quick, and then ended up buying a lot of drugs. So here I was in the hospital for fucking 6 months, and by the time they got that bill, that bill ended up becoming to $30,000 for those 6 months. And then they asked them, well, where's that money that was given to you by the state for this? Yeah, they had no answer. They had no fucking answer because they knew what they did with it. And I found this out when it came to the hearings in court. I found this out. I found this literally out. Like, really? That's what the fuck you doing? And the judge was disgusted by them, especially by my father. You know, reason why they did all this. Actually, I'll get to that in the end, but you know, they were using me for money then. I think around, where was I now? See, I think the third time I ended up saving the house was with, you know, my SSI money. Again, because every time they receive money of some sort, or they borrow money, rather than do what needs to be done with it, which is, one, paying the house, mortgage, keeping electricity on, power on, the water, food in the house, they go and spend it on cars, fancy ass phones, and guns. Yeah, they do that. So they're very unfit financial owners. And the fourth and last time I saved the house was with another garage sale, and yet again, a lot of my shit was fucking sold. And the reason for why they're doing all this, and again, it was my father's idea because of how he was treated. Okay, just because your father abused you and took your money like that, you want to be better than your father. So you don't want to do that to your child, and that's what was being done to me. And to him, when the judge asked him, you know, what's your reason for all this? He said, because he owes me. I'm going to say that again. Because he owes me. And with everything gathered up from statements, from receipts, to everything that took place with just everything gathered up, right? Because a lot of papers that were signed in my name were false signatures because they weren't my handwriting, so you have that too. Because they got a lot of bullshit paperwork made up. Try to make me look like I had a bad spending habit problem when I didn't. Things that I wouldn't buy anyways. Well, the judge looked at him when my father said that. He's like, he doesn't owe you shit. Yeah, the judge said that he doesn't owe you shit. Anything, you owe him. So you have that. Again, you know, once I ended up getting out from underneath them, ended up winning the house, so I ain't gotta leave. They have to leave around next year in January. Like I said, my father would be the one going to prison, since he's not meeting his requirements. And, you know, and you have those type of things that go on. And then come to find out, like, I could have had good schooling growing up. I could have had good medical growing up. I would have had the stuff I needed for my heart. I still would have had my stuff I needed for my asthma. Because I do have very bad lungs that were damaged because I was born a crack baby. I would have had good health because maybe my liver my liver probably wouldn't have been so screwed up like it is now. My body was put through abuse as a child when it came to my health, because my mother wanted to overfeed me a lot. So I ended up becoming obese. Because of that, the only way for me to lose weight at one time, I ended up getting hooked on pills, on drugs, and it worked for a while till I started looking like death. And if anybody that says, I gotta call people out, man, if you're out there dropping weight really fast, really quick without doing anything, and a lot of people call you out saying that you might be taking pills or doing drugs because your cheekbones are starting to show, and then you get offended by that, the good truth of it is, yeah, you're doing drugs to lose weight fast. Then, once I was done with high school, like I said, I'm going to link some videos down in the description below if I remember. One's going to be the Trusted Money in-depth interview. Next is going to be about my health, so you guys can understand that right there, and my fake diploma video. But again, my mother didn't like me trying to be healthy, especially when I started going for walks every day and dropping weight. So she made sure I stayed obese till 2013, because I was 330 pounds and I ended up having a heart attack in the middle of the night. She didn't give a fuck. No. Where I am now, I'm down to 205, 205. I'm trying to get down to 120. Real talk. Like, I don't know if you guys can see my shadow right there, but that's how much weight, that's how much weight that I have dropped. And I'm going to keep undropping. I gotta look out for myself. I gotta do this for me, not for them. Some pretty nice bikes. I like this one right here. I don't know if you guys can see that good. But I gotta look out for me, I can't look out for anybody else. But yeah, that's about it probably for today's video.